so you have features. Hope you are gonna enjoy this patch. It's big.
Okay. Next up, we have Ook as well. Ook does a lot of our 3D stuff. He's well known within the 5M community as well for a lot of his tutorial videos, etc. I have Ook here to talk about any 3D changes and stuff we've made for this patch.
Is it still low?
Introduce yourself, Ook, or whatever you want to do.
Oh, is that good?
You guys can see now why we don't normally.
Is it
invite
still
them to
low or is it
community
good?
Meetings. All right. Next up, we have Cheddar. Cheddar does the majority of the in-server events for us. He's been holding up a lot of that side of the house, managing that department for us. He was a big part, actually. We were training him to do game design in the World's End before we probably test him out to do some stuff for 4.0. So he did a serviceable job there, I would say, in a short amount of time. So that's pretty impressive, in my opinion. So I don't know if you want to introduce yourself, Cheddar.
Hello. Please don't DM me.
Okay. Can I get a proper introduction?
So I'm Cheddar. I do event stuff in medical. It's fun.
Okay. You all sound so excited to be here. Like, what the fuck happened to you in the last 30 minutes?
Is this an update or like are we shutting down?
Yeah, like what is going on with you? You're part of the problem, Mook.
Just sad.
Don't blame me.
Okay.
You're supposed to start telling it. Yeah, you're supposed
I'm
to tell us.
I'm a
what
product
stuff's
of
under
my
the map.
environment.
Delu's been my right hand for a while since Twitch RP, I would say. Going back a long time.
I fuck with Delu heavy.
I would say you've learned a little bit from me, but you've done a lot of learning through the ringer with running our public server for us, and now I've brought Delu back to help us, to help me, I guess, run the day-to-day on the Allow server. So
Hello. I think most people probably already know who I am. Yeah, I've been working with Ravage for 10 years. Coming on 10 years, maybe? Or I've
Yep.
been in this space for 10 years, so yeah. I've been overrunning public since we launched that, and now I'm stepping back into the allow list space.
Yep, and glad to have the help, to be honest, to keep things organized. So, all right. So a lot of you are seeing what we have up here on the screen. It's patch 2.8, which is the road to 4.0. And we'll get into what that means here in just a little bit. But the first thing that we want to acknowledge on this current version is the roleplay quality across the server has been slipping with a huge leaning towards PvP content, which is fueling poor interactions and is draining a lot of will for a large part of our player base. The focus of this patch is to try to reroute some of the purpose and end game for criminals and civilians and get back to more chases, lean away from shootouts. And a lot of the changes in this have been about reducing the need to shoot and the benefits of shooting and the ease of doing hop outs, et cetera, like that. So we'll get into what that means in a little bit. Don't overthink it yet. We'll have a lot of explanations on all of this. The TLDR, though, is the state of the server. Listen, the gun updates just weren't it. The gun upgrades just weren't it. There was the faction stuff didn't really take off, and we need to reroute from that. And we probably could have did it sooner, to be honest. So we're a little behind on this, and we'll acknowledge that. First off, I want to talk about Prodigy. What's next for Prodigy? With Prodigy 4.0, it's been talked a lot about in an unofficial capacity, and it's important to clear up a number of points on this. The update is not imminent. It's not really coming this month. It's something that it's very far along in development, but we're not going to launch this right now. We have a plan of when we're going to launch it, and the reality is that if you're just sitting around saying I'm not going to play because the update's probably coming this month, then you're delusional. I'm sorry, like it's not this. It's not like coming right away. So there are still updates planned after 2.8, and some of the things I really want to hone in on here are that is we're going to be very selective on prio and who keeps their allow list for 4.0. Where we have been and will continue to be going through the allow list, and there's a lot of people that have been demonstrating some really poor role play, and that stuff has been, you have been removed from contention for 4.0 as it stands right now. If you're doing good RP, and you're trying to create stories, you need to keep doing that. If you're constantly in shootouts and not contributing to the server, I would really expect not to have a whitelist for 4.0. We're going to be really strict on this. I think a lot of people have gotten in that probably don't really fit the mold for the future going forward for what we want to do. So we'll be testing a lot of rules, mechanics, and different concepts for 4.0 on different parts of the live server as we go forward a little bit. So that's something for you to know, that we're going to try a lot of things over the next couple of months to see how they work. Misspelled Prodigy, Project RP. Where's Prodigy misspelled? Was this my Polish developers?
That's probably on me.
Where? It's
Classic.
not misspelled. No, it says 4.0/Project RP on live servers.
Last line, apparently.
Yeah. Either way, we're doing a lot of things that are exciting going towards 4.0. And I think the thing you guys need to understand is that we are really, it's always been spelt that way. Anyway, we're going to be testing a lot of things on the main server. And that means that there may be things that initially people may have a visceral reaction to that we won't use going towards 4.0. But we'll be doing a test with them. So just so you guys to understand that we may do things that are unpopular. We may do things that are popular. We may do things that work, some things that don't work, but we're going to try a lot of different concepts. We did a lot of this. Some of you remember in the last half of 1.0. So we'll be doing that again. First thing I want to talk about is I'm going to let Cheddar take this one, but it's on the government and the mayorship.
Yeah, so the reality is Gunner's been on a whitelist server, Gunner's been mayor for far too long. So we're going to give him a little grace. We've got Gamer Girlish working on the elections. We've started a new election cycle where we're going to be having it end February 1st. So pretty soon here, we'll be having a new mayor in the city. We gave Gunner a lot of support OOC, and we're going to do the same for the new mayor. We're going to, honestly, early on, it works pretty well, where just a mayor and a deputy mayor, so we're going to run the same thing. City council just adds too much red tape RP, which just honestly isn't fun. So you're going to see a lot of changes in the government coming up soon.
Okay, cool.
Okay, all right.
Yeah, one of the big things I really want to focus on, it was a big mistake for us not to probably do a re-election once Jack had messaged me, but it was like really close to December when we kind of knew he wasn't coming back. So that's kind of on us, to be honest. We probably should have did it faster, but this is exciting and should create some good role play. We're going to give the same support we gave to Jack that we did to the others. So public server mayor, Delu can answer that question. I have no idea if that's something they're planning to do or will consider. I don't know.
I mean, it's something we can consider. Just in the current climate, we didn't really think it would fit. It's something we've discussed amongst the senior staff over there. I'll probably discuss it a little bit more. Go from there with the launch of 4.0, most likely.
Okay, perfect. Well, you've heard it there. Next up, the police force. This was funny slides that Smashny had put on here, and I kept it because some of it's true. I'm going to be stepping back into PD in a way you'll see after this here, in which we are going to be very forceful on some standards in terms of, the base things that PD should be doing well, which is like being effective as PD in the field, like doing things like chases and our comms and that thing up to standards. We're gonna be kind of ruthless with this, actually. I've actually become sick of all the excuses and bullshit that a lot of people give me all the time. And I'm just gonna say it straight. I've sent people who have argued with me literally to the public server to just see how wrong they are on a lot of these things. Sure, was the public server maybe a little harder on things like stuff in the cells and, in terms of like RP things? Yeah, sometimes I would say maybe it isn't as high as a quality or content standard is what needs to happen on the allow list, and things like the comms and doing parallels and chases and shootouts, I'm sorry, those things just don't change. And our PD is just not good at those things. And unfortunately, I don't really care anymore for people telling me that that we can't do these things on allow list. Everyone else does them. Every other police force in existence does them. we're going to get the comms right. We're going to get uphold standards on chases. We're going to uphold standards on the way we act in shootouts. And I don't really care if anyone gets their feelings hurt. Even if that's a content creator, if that's people have been in PD on 1.0 or 2.0 for a long amount of time, we don't care because it has to change. It's miserable on our allow-less PD, and I'm not going to pretend like it's not anymore. You go on and you hear people yelling like idiots on the radio. About 90% of the time, you can't hear things. You have sensory overload. People are just standing in MRPD or out in the curb, turning their radios off. There is literally no standard. And I'm sorry if people think there is one. There just isn't. And that's over. As of today, it's over. And period. And if anyone thinks any different than that, you're coping. Seriously. Very, very much so. If you cannot see the difference in how effective people are in one place versus the other on the same exact framework with the same exact SOPs, I'm sorry, but you're crazy. And I'm done pretending like it's not that way, because it is. And all it takes is look at the last year and a half, and you can see that is exactly the way I'm telling you it is. People just don't put the effort into actually trying to get better in PD at all. They just sit there, they complain, they moan, and it needs to stop. And we'll show you how that's done. I'm going to bring Delu back, Chem's back in a bigger capacity now, and Lane, and we're just not taking people's shit anymore on this. Like the time for negotiation was the entirety of 2.0, where we tried it different ways for different people. And that's done. One big change that's happening here for a temporary fix, because this is kind of plagued the server, is PD are not able to be robbed for a little bit. We're going to get a little bit more into this shortly. But for right now, PD are no longer to be robbed until we see some changes happen on the server that make this a little bit more manageable going forward. The number of quality of life changes requested by PD were implemented in this patch, including some like major pain points. None of these are bad, by the way. There'll be a full change log here in a little bit. We did a full activity purge for inactive PD members based on SOPs on January 22nd. There was some drama around like a comment a staff made, what was supposed to be a joke in their mind with Sifu before this. These are not the same things, and I want to be really clear on that. I want people to understand that on Prodigy, we've always had a standard where we don't care if people play on other servers. And we continue to have that standard. We are not here to please content creators, whether that's PD or anywhere else. So we will not be removing people for playing on other servers. I'm just going to say that outright.
Yeah, and don't be nervous. I just wanted to.
Yeah.
A lot of people get nervous about doing it. We don't care.
Yeah. I did, however, do an activity purge on like the entirety of PD. And I put an announcement out right away. It was just instructions on how you can get rehired. So anyone who freaked out and had a visceral reaction, I talked to Frosty like 2 days ago as well on this, where it's just like, literally, this was accompanied by announcement. I think part of the problem here is that if you didn't know there was an announcement, right, in the PD Discord, and you haven't logged in for a long period of time, like that's why the removal happened, right? And I think it's
I'm the main Mr. PC.
some people. So, but there's a lot of people that have been
I
around.
noticed y'all like the
and
grants
just at a point
content
on the server's life cycle that we have to things like houses, PD rosters, that type of thing. They need to be managed, guys. It's important. We just can't leave people in perpetuity on these rosters and expect to know every LOA, every person that's away for a month or 2 months. So next up, there's also going to be major changes to PD today. There's going to be big changes to PD today. So
Lou don't love
be
Gramp.
prepared for that.
That's why I
There's a
don't
lot of
play
roleplay,
it,
though.
because it's
Also
Lou's
coming
fault.
back, because it's a roleplay server.
Lou
You know,
stops
it's gonna be
watching me
good.
if I play Gramp.
EMS and doctors. Oh, actually, PD stuff, Delu.
You kind of briefly already touched on it.
Hold on.
Spoilers.
You gotta hide your screen now.
I don't know. God damn it.
Ruined.
Why does this always happen to me, of all people? Man, like all these like meta chats and stuff now just like are going back frame by frame, seeing each slide before I speak. You know that's happening, right? That is
It's already
happening.
on roleplay clips, Rav. I found the video.
Sometimes I'm an idiot. I'll say it. Like listen, a lot of people just call me an idiot for sport, you know, for fun. But there is times where I'm in, and this is one of these times where like it is impressive, you know.
Oh, good Shocks. Oh, hey Shocks.
Back to things here, guys.
To you,
the
buddy.
meeting, nothing happened.
To you, Shocks.
Deleuze, is there anything you want to add on?
That was a good one.
PD
That was a
stuff?
good one. I like that.
Again, you pretty much already touched on it, but I was just gonna add like we have standards and we adhere to the standards on public, and I feel like that it creates a big difference in the fact that consistency is key, and some things just are non-negotiable when it comes to SOPs. I mean, all SOPs should be non-negotiable. But, you know, we give leeway sometimes for roleplay, but things like inner standards, like radio comms and like the use of force and our police response when responding to the criminal side of things, they're just non-negotiable, and I feel like people have been getting a lot of slack on that kind of stuff in allow list, so that's not going to be a thing anymore. We're going to be changing that.
Yeah. Listen, there's a lot of changes to help PD today, but also PD also needs to help themselves, because otherwise there's no point in the changes we made, because PD is going to continually fall into this trap. EMS and doctors. Cheddar, I don't know if you want to talk about this, about us weighing proposals.
Yeah. I've been reading chat with what you guys are saying about EMS and doctors, you know, bring back doctors. I want to make it clear, doctors are still around right now. We're just not seeing the level of role play from doctors that I find acceptable. I am extremely so for those that don't know, I run EMS and med. I am extremely strict on who I bring into EMS and who I bring into med. I don't do /me RPing. I think it's garbage RP. You know, you can disagree, but I think it's boring and not content focused RP. We do have doctors that roleplay right now. There's a very few of them, but the ones I have picked are very good. So we do want to grow the department more, but I need it to be understood that we want quality roleplay. I don't want people who just stand in a hospital talking to each other all day in a circle. I want people who role play. We have avenues out right now that you could own your own practice as a doctor. People just aren't putting in the role play to do it. So I just want people to understand that we want to expand this, but it requires people to actually role play on the server. And that includes the doctors. It's not just the players and the patients.
Yeah, from my perspective, what we need to see is the player base actually adopt to role playing with doctors when they're there, because right now they just kind of go in and out. It's like TikTok brain in the hospital. So if we want to see this stuff come back and be able to be a thing, people need to really change their perspectives on how they interact with med staff. And we're going to look at rules for like RP injuries and that type of thing, at least going into 4.0. Probably, maybe we might try some stuff here in 2.0, but the reality is that we really need the player base to kind of change the way they interact with EMS. Next up, we have the DOJ. These are, you guys heard me talk about a lot of changes for PD. The stuff that I want everyone to see here is that we're also making changes to make this a lot more manageable. First of all, we've made it so that Coyote, Vance, and A-Hole are chained to the judge's chair, and they can never leave. So they have to hear cases all day long. That's a joke. That's a joke. The max time for cell charges, we've actually made it. This is something we did with a lot of success actually in Twitch RP back in the day, and we've seen work. We've made it so that we've made maxes per incident, right? So 60 months, 120 months, add 60 basically up until you get to 5, so that you won't be seeing these big, huge things outside of like bench trials and court charges. So people who argue to try to bring things to bench trials will come with some risk where you could double that up. Either way, this is going to be a big boon for content creators, role players who are just trying to make scenes and play in like the bottle or the box of the day, right? And it's going to be good for that, but it also makes police able to charge up for things that are like multi-incidents. So like Chang gang will probably still get like 300-month sentences because they get caught when they have like 10 incidents. But you know, for the small gang stuff that have just been got on one-offs, it'll be much more manageable.
We did talk about time. They were very aware about that, especially when I was in the cell for 4 hours.
Criminals can be a little bit more okay with going down in an incident. right? And maybe giving the cops a win every now and then. The max time for court charges is uncapped, obviously. The big thing here, though, is we've upped the shit out of a lot of fines. The fines that hit a lot of criminals that are into bigger crimes, right? That have lots of money, that have been doing stuff. Yeah. Oh yeah, we'll take your gripes later, Kevin. If you want in the town hall, you can express it in our question period.
Yeah.
Okay.
Remember that we were doing that, but in a NoPixel, but then they would
Did
not
people
cuff
hear
you. Remember that?
silence? Good.
I can hear you. But
Okay.
Remember they wouldn't cuff you after
The
a
next
while.
thing we want to talk about is business and civilian hubs. We've really fixed this 4.0, but we're trying to pseudo fix it for now. So what we've done is we've added some small hubs. Some still needs to be done in the south side in particular, but we've added like a very comprehensive one in the north where we have redistributed a lot of businesses in places where businesses will go. We seized a lot of businesses last night because we took a lot of MLOs out. But the idea is to bring a lot of new life this week with new business owners. This will also lend itself towards the arc that's going on in character right now. You'll see more about that when we start up the server in a little bit. Some of that pre-RP happened this weekend. But yeah, we're going to see a lot more places with more, like Sandy should, in theory, be a big hub by the end of the week in terms of like where we put things. Like you're going to see mechanic, car lot. We cut down the car lots to 2, so there's gonna be a car lot, mechanic shop, food place, and some other stuff there that I don't want to talk about yet. That'll all be in that little hub area, so that'll make that a nice little community. I was having they can't hear you. People can hear me in Discord, so restaurants. Another thing we'll be doing by next week, you'll probably see this once we get to this point, is sit down restaurants will have some buffs, right? So if you sit down, you eat in like a sit down restaurant, they'll have like really quick expiries. They'll put the food in front of you, and if you eat it there, you'll get like a buff. That won't be as good as like drugs or anything like that, like end game drugs, but it'll be something that people can use and will be beneficial, and something that, you know, the cops might do every now and then as well, right? We can't make it as heavy as like end game drugs because they require a lot of work and have risk to lose by criminals. But overall, I think these are good changes that we're bringing. Anything you want to add on that, Cheddar?
yeah, I mean, so there's been good RP and bad RP around businesses lately, and we're really going to try to bring out the good RP, is what I'll say. I know a lot of people are thinking that like storylines are going to get cut because the businesses are getting, quote, seized, but I just want everyone to be assured. There's a lot more that's going to come out of this. This is just the start.
Today will
It's
be
going to be very interesting.
Today will start a spicy week.
Yes.
Okay. House repos is another thing I want to talk about. We obviously don't give forward notice on house repos because what ends up happening, people who just log in to save their house and have no intention of playing come in and reclaim it, right? That's the problem that we have with house repos, and that's why we don't give notice on them. It always is. If you're not active or you don't pay your maintenance fees, that's always the expectation. It always has been on Prodigy. So some people have gotten a little upset on this one, but I have to tell you that this is just how we've done it. We just haven't done them in a little while. This is extremely important for server health. Active players have the ability to obtain housing. So active players have the ability to obtain housing on the server. Like, this is quintessential to the play experience for people to feel like they have a gameplay loop, right? So if there's
Sharks, I'll tell you
sitting in
my
houses that
influence
aren't logging into the
when it
server,
comes
that
up.
aren't paying their maintenance,
If
right?
it comes up,
that needs to be
I think it
dealt with,
will.
and it has, right? And it opens things up for other players to be able to get things on the server, which is very important. We know about the frustration, but yeah, hoping people understand, right? So the one thing we will own is that we did miss a reclaim cycle, and
You're
we'll
gonna
be
like
doing
it, Sharks. Trust
going
me.
forward. Rule additions. So Ravage will ban exploiters. This was on here as like a filler text, and then I just added, and most of ESB plus Suarez plus Jose Santana, and I'll unban the South Side Witch. This is honestly just a salt mine slide, so we're just gonna go past that. This is a big one here.
This one.
Convoy rule.
This
Don't
one.
freak out.
I said 3 cars. This was
You cannot use more than 3 cars in a rolling shootout. This has been requested for a long time by a lot of people. But with this change, don't worry, driver shooting has been re-enabled. And cars take more bullet damage now as well. So this should help curb a lot of the hop-out meta.
And you can't pull out your gun.
Because it would be way too hard. This is guided by
I don't think you can pull out rifles and shit in the cars.
Those are ever changing. I think everyone needs to understand that that's a thing. If a car is disabled or fleeing a fight, it is acceptable to. Also, just so you know, so even in the worst circumstance with this, PD would have 6 cars at most on their use of force, right? And that would be in like very, very rare circumstances, like interference cars. You know, if a car is disabled or fleeing a fight, it's acceptable to go over the limit when stealing cars to flee. We understand that RP needs to be dynamic, so it's really important. For that, I think, because otherwise people would just get caught because they'd have to role play, right? I think we need to leave it open for the fact that, you know, someone might have to steal a B or A class car to get the fuck out of the chase or out of the shootout, right? And I think it's okay to roll things out. We'll adapt this role as we need to, but for right now, I think this is good for fights. We've also added into a caveat of convoys of supercars roaming the map to chase people down in conflict. Slow quality RP and will treat as fail RP by the staff team.
I hate seeing that 5 car shit, man.
It's not really the problem of having 2 or 3 supercars in a shootout. It's more you see like I remember like what a lot of gangs do is they'll get like 5 supercars and just roll around the city, you know, just circling cars and stuff. Like that's what we're talking about here, to be clear. We may reword some of these things to make the wording better, as with everything, but I think this is a step in the right direction. Pocket wiping. We changed this rule and broke it down to 3 rules because it was getting confusing for people. Pocket wiping is not allowed. Pocket wiping is taking most of all of a player's inventory with no RP reason, or taking items only to punish, grief, or mechanically benefit yourself. Taking specific meaningful items tied to RP is allowed. Cleaning players out of all items with no RP reason is strictly against the rules. So this doesn't keep you from taking a few things off of someone or a gun or things that matter in like a shootout. What this really does here is just clarifies that, you know, the same thing the old rule did really, is that if you're just doing this to just loot box people, that's a problem. That's how it will be enforced. Looting after shootouts. This needed a clarification. You may loot briefly after a shootout, but looting may occur for up to 2 minutes or until the police begin the scene cleanup. We've had a real problem with this, with triages being attacked constantly way after a shootout is over. And you may not make other wait while you loot. Is just like a sub point of this. The 2 minutes is really the guiding point here in the triage. Staying on the scene with multiple cops is fail RP, meaning if you're circled by 4 cops trying to come clean up people and you are not leaving and trying to loot all 10 cops, that's a problem. If you wouldn't realistically still be there, you shouldn't be looting. And conflict ends. So we've also did this. I tagged this on. I'll reword this a little bit better as well later. Conflict ends when the shooting stops. So when there's a 5-minute break in shooting, we've put guidance here. That's when the conflict ends. Loot period comes in, or until police come in and swarm the place for resupply. But you may not loot, resupply, and re-engage. So if you're away for 5 minutes from that fight and you come to re-engage, it's over, right? Don't do it. It's a new conflict at that point. And any breakout or taking of members must happen within the period-ending conflict. And I think this gives good guardrails and guidance for people. We might change this again, but I think this is pretty good. And if anyone has questions about this, we'll have a question period right after. And then we added looting police. Not to be confused, we've disabled it. We still needed to clarify this rule.
It's crazy.
So we basically said police are not a resupply mechanic.
Oh,
loot police no. The same fight. Once the shootout ends, looting police is over, and this is where it brings you to the end of shootout rule. So it's like really clear now, like when you should stop the police.
Oh, that is crazy.
But yeah, no post-fight resupplying, no taking multiple PD weapons without sufficient RP and story build up. So if you come and try to pull a Alex Suarez and take 4 ARs off of bodies and you're hunting across rooftops for him, you'll see I have him here. Rem Dog, did we get a good angle? You like that? Listen, we could joke about it. We talked about it this week. And no farming cops at traffic stops, routine counters. So this is basically the same, but it's just like re-clarifying like where we stand on all this stuff, and adds like a buffer so people don't get in trouble when they.
Ravage just kind of knows Suarez knows his banter. He even said that like once before. It's like he's just banter.
We're just having a lot of problems where like we have gangs just standing on top of fucking cop bodies while cops are trying to move in. Like at some point the scene has to move forward. like I said, all this stuff subject to change, might change, but who knows? But here we're at the exciting part, ladies and gentlemen. Are we ready? Now that I've bored you and you've had to listen to my dumbass speak for 34 minutes.
My boy Ace. I guess there's stuff implemented in here that I didn't mention, but it's in there if that makes sense. You notice that, chat? Silencers. Oh, silencers. Trap's gonna be better. Traps are gonna be better. Fines increased, yeah.
All right, ladies and gentlemen. What do we think? What do we think? A lot of cool stuff there. A lot of stuff to unpack. It's all pretty cool, I think. We have tried a lot of things with the update. Hold on, let me just fix the... Yeah, I mean, it was done fast on a reason, guys. For a reason. It was done fast, so you go back and you watch the video. That's why. I'll just be honest with you. I'll tell you the secret. That's why it was done. That 80 new mini skirts. I don't know. We could look at it though. Okay. There are a number of new activities. I've only put some high points off of this, just so you guys understand. There are new ATM robberies. Tows are returned, so we have some good petty crime options that are fun, chase-oriented. A couple of different ways to rob the ATMs as well. We have multiple open world events. These are, you'll see what these are like. They're not what you think. Some people said, what is this, DayZ? And it's not like that. It's just stuff to give things in the world where people can vie for, essentially. 3 new heists that will be...
What's up, Bill? How you been, brother?
Prep enabled today. You may have seen hints to some of those heists in here as well, into the trailer. There's a bunch of other stuff here. Tons of new updates to the map. I don't really want to get into all those here. You guys will get in and explore the server and see it. We have changes here. We actually opened up a thread, and I had a talk with...
Been into ARC, huh?
And separately, I had talks with Geo and ZB, and I was going to have a talk with the BSK guys, but Maximus put a bunch of his feedback in the thread. Thank you for that. That was really helpful. And we just we did overtime on all the devs to just make sure that we put as much quality of life in this patch as we could. Like, we put so much. We've been working nonstop to make sure that we get all the quality of life in. So a big thing is that the servers had a tough time for solo criminals. So we opened up a lot of the gang-only activities to solo players and player groups so that it has more variety on the server, and you don't need to have a 15, 20-person gang to be able to participate in these things. We made a catch-up modifier of 100% XP to level 10, so it's just double, just so you guys understand. on the gang app for any new gangs, so that new gangs have a chance to catch up. Gang overall XP is buffed by 30%, so people can progress the battle pass. I had a lot of feedback from people that are having trouble with that, and while it's older content, we still want people to be able to complete it if they wish. Drug improvements. The end game of drugs has been a significant point of debate on the state of the drug protection on the server. We've brought back cornering, which is a big thing, in my opinion. That was a really fun thing for cops and criminals both.
Yep.
Traps per sale values have been reduced.
Yes, I said
not
too.
So significantly, a little bit.
Cornering
Drugs
for
in general
cops is
have had a
good.
rebalance, to be honest, in terms of what payouts are for selling them, and we've made a lot more benefit to cornering and doing individual sales because it's harder work than the trap. The trap takes a while, and this is feedback that I took from a lot of the people that I talked to before that do like the daily grinding and the different groups. So drugs rebalanced. There's more usage for pure meth. You can use it for a new buff and use the lace. Low quality, low max quality meth benefits are now consistent. So they weren't before. Some of them were like doing a healing effect when they should just be doing damage reduction. That was a miss on our part. Lacing needs pure meth instead of any quality now, so there's like a bigger reason to do more pure meth, and actually try to have control of that instead of people just working together, kumbaya, for the meth trap. Cocaine, instant health adjusted, and it's mostly max health now for cocaine instead of being a heal as well. That was a little imbalanced, so we'll be back to like medical supplies and that type of thing, and weed having more value. Meth trap and pure meth have been given better use for end game as well. So these are like good. These are pretty good changes, I think, and we will adapt and change these if we see that they need to be changed again. We'll be really active and
that's what I'm talking about. After shit go fire, I'm telling you.
And Forza enthusiast changes. We heard you loud and clear.
Don't go crazy, my boy.
Vroom, vroom. We've done new timed drug drop-off activity. So think of this like you have a timed run to drop drugs off as an option to do those. So maybe gangs will do this. The better time you have, the better reward. The worse times you have poop reward.
This is like the moonshine and NoPixel, chat.
Practical again, so it's not a huge barrier to entry. People can get in and do it. S-class boost payouts have been increased. We've changed up Vin scratch requirements as a big contention for people doing boosting and adding conversion items for low quality meth for already in progress.
Yeah, we talked about that.
There's 100%.
They added that quick because we talked to them about it on Wednesday.
30
it was me, Suarez, and Kim.
Overall boosting
like, yo, we want something like that.
So people can get in, get active, and participate. So this is all good stuff, making it so that you can get in and role play.
We talked about meth runs too, like those big ones. I'm not sure if they added that, like the pure meth runs.
Hold on. Oh, this is more from the same thing. Gun smuggling is a big one we changed as well. We did A-class cars.
Yeah.
Oh my God. Someone just sent me a picture still of Geo literally cheering with his hands in the air for bank trucks. Gun smuggling. We changed the van to an A-class car from a list so that it's a chase thing, and the tracker is extended for intense chases and updates at a more interesting rate for PD to be able to catch up, and it's actually a getaway for when you do these gun contracts now. R2, we are pushing R2 in the forefront of the racing story, especially with Haas over at the World's End and to daily drive the racing storyline across the server, and he'll be overseeing this distribution of stage 3s and involving people in roleplay. We've contacted a few people, more people will be contacted as well. We'll be trying to use a blueprint that we've received from, we've seen work on Brazil and other servers that have really made the racing extremely exciting in those places. Race PD calls for races are fired before checkpoints are reached. Encourage police presence, which is a big change and a good one. And race currency items have been adjusted by R2 to be able to make these changes, to make changes that are that'll be well liked by the racing community because he's dialed in there. Police, we have not forgotten you, my friends. This is a big list, a big fuck off list we asked for from police, and we looked at what we could do, what would be good for server health versus not. First things, all vehicles that are given by legal jobs and rentals have more intuitive rental paperwork so that you can RP when people have job cars, that type of thing. You can now hand items directly to drivers, so that's a big thing. So like tickets, that type of thing. I mean, that's a big deal for a lot of people who daily PD or have. First mechanics have been added to pat down for weapons and larger criminal items so that we can accurately RP Terry Frisk without pissing the fuck off out of criminals. Government IDs now only show the picture of the original owner instead of the person showing the ID. So the picture will be from when you actually get the ID or when you spawn into the world. PD cuff scuff. We've drastically improved PD cuff targeting and prioritizing ragdoll players over standing fellow cops, etc. This is good because it just felt clanky and shit, to be honest. Multiple items rotated between the armory and transports to make more sense and enable RP. This is good both for criminals and cops, by the way. The items that are in the transports now, criminals will want to get instead of, like, I think BSK, I got feedback that they had looted a PD transport the other day where they only got wires, right? So not very good.
I told them to make the trunks bigger as well.
Now it'll be things that, you know,
when they do raids, so they don't put stuff in their pockets.
They need on a daily basis to encourage role play, and we've made it so that both criminals and PD are doing these for things that matter. The PD terrorizer. This is a big feedback due to the recent CG raid. We noticed that a lot of the cop looting actually happened because they're looking for the items that came from the raid. So what we've done now is we made the terrorizer has a massive inventory and weight capacity.
Come on, Sharks, come on.
If the car's unlocked, the criminals have to like blowtorch the trunk or blow it up or whatever it is. I can't remember what we did, but this is good and it takes time to do. So like it's not a quick snatch and grab type of thing. So there's like counterplay and it'll be fun and it'll be risky to go and do it. I think we're missing a lot of that for criminals right now is the feeling of risk reward and it being fulfilling to be a criminal with PD. Because right now when the PD win, it really sucks for criminals and then the PD lose a lot in really shitty ways. So it's like not enjoyable really for either side. Drug calls increase chances of calls for PD. I think this is a big thing that PD want because they want to be able to chase drug calls instead of just going to back-to-back shootouts. Criminals can no longer spawn in wrapped houses. Apparently this is a bug that went unreported for a while, but that exploit has been removed. PD trackers can now be removed from the tracker gun. This is a big one for criminals and cops because cops weren't using it for that reason apparently. And then taser scuff on still targets fixed. We had to pull this, but we're working on it actually. So sorry, this isn't in just yet, but it will be fixed. And as a result of this, I want to be really clear that we're going to be enforcing on when cops tase a lot more because people tase and just immediately in a lot of situations, and that's just not good role play. Combat balance and the hop out era has ended. Sorry, Suarez, Dio, Zolo. It was fun, dog, but we're good. AR is no longer able to be pre-drawn in cars, which should be big things, and cars disable the gunfire much quicker than they did in the past. So this would really help with the hop out mentality a lot. It'll obviously change the meta and
taking away the AR.
One update.
Overtake. Yes.
One update to interrupt. The stun gun was fixed.
It was fixed.
Woo! Yes, it is fixed.
And for those who don't know the bug on the stun gun, standing still targets couldn't even be tased a lot of times. It'd been a long-standing pain point. So, combat balance for gun damage, gun calibrations, upgrades removed. No more gold guns. The loop is replaced with new guns to encourage trap usage among other activities. So there's no in-game purpose. Time to kill increase, leading to longer shootouts. Balance to 50s and eagles. Lowered the headshot damage on these because they were a little nutty. I think we can all agree. But they're still better than the other guns, for sure. With that, we may have to change the loop a little bit, make them a little easier to get. I think we have done that to a certain degree. Smash New, we've added a new method to get them as well.
Bullet swave removed, thank you.
The 50s and deagles, we added a different way to craft those, right? I think.
Yes, the gun room is completely rebalanced, and it's right now way less grand.
So it'd be way more reason to go and do the gun room. Bullet sway has been removed. This is a big one for the community, I'm sure. If someone clip this, send it to Hutch. Hutch will finally be like, I've said this 8 months ago.
Sway is ass.
Off, but we've replaced it with increased recoil. It was a suggestion from within the dev team. Shields in general no longer repel bullets on the back or in car. This has been, I don't know how many times I have had complaints from criminals saying cops wearing shields in cars can't kill them. They're being fucking rats. You know, like, I cannot tell you how much.
Literally X.
Like cops complaining, oh, the criminals have shields, can't kill them, blah, 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 blah. You know, so this is a big one as well, I think. Crouch has been improved. Remember how you do the pop-up, pop, pop, pop? You're doing squats instead of crouching. That's fixed, and it's a lot better. Feels better for combat. That's really cool. No more squats. Shots and Rami. You might have to actually go to the gym in game now. You can't auto squat anymore. Petty crimers, store robbery rewards buffed and refreshed. Shoe robberies, increased hustling value. There's been new shoes added. Car chopping rewards is improved, and there's new activities and buffs outside of that too that I can't remember. we took a look at a bunch of the petty crime activities and just
basically every small crime activity has been reworked table, so it's more up to date with the current state of the server, and it's
There's a bunch more than that too. I just really shortened it. There's 50 plus new houses, plus more Vespucci houses next week. We've reclaimed 200 houses. 60 plus vehicles have been added to shops. Inventory improvements. This is another big win for the community. We have done 3 hotkey slots to 6, so you won't feel like our inventory is clunky. We've added so many things there, and the 1-2 weapon slot meta just wasn't working anymore because there's just so much going on. It felt pretty clunky, so we have 6 slots across the board. No more weapon only slots. And this is a big win for PD as well. Obviously,
bro, my weapon slot used to be 3 for so long,
so it's not as annoying. So
now it's 1 because
a lot of people were saying this is a pretty big point, but we listened to community feedback. We made it happen.
This is actually fire.
And that is all I have. There's a ton more changes. I'm going to drop the change log here while we look for people to give some feedback. I'm going to take maybe 15 minutes of questions, and then we're going to get the server up and started. I think we made good time. So as always, if you have a question, tag me in the chat, and then we'll, with the question written out, and then we will, and this is the Discord chat, and then we'll take a second. South wants to rant. I'm going to do this only for the comedic relief of me insulting him, which I usually do. South, I know you need help from probably someone. Did you get your wife?
Yeah, no, I'm here, guys. Can you hear me?
Thank you. Yeah, we can hear you.
I
have a small rant that I've been sadly doing in my own stream lately.
Okay.
Is this the place to do that, or is this not the place?
I'll just move you to the audience if it's
okay. A couple things, right? There's a couple things I think we need to talk about here. One, I'm gonna be honest, I wasn't ready for this. I was not ready. I didn't expect you to read it that fast. I'd actually like to be pushed back to the back of the stack here because I get a little nervous.
Okay, handled that.
Bye.
All right.
Funny guy. Is that a Call of Duty Pro? That
I think he used to be a Call of Duty Pro, or like
is there any
semi-pro.
footage of that? Is there any?
Someone's asking about some of these changes if they're going to the public in Brazil and Sweden. We actually prepared the staff with a lot of these. We left MLOs that needed to be left for those places, and they're going to move businesses that need to be moved as a result as well. So they already have a lot of this stuff to work on. Some of the stuff won't be implemented on like charge maxes and stuff like that for those servers. Someone wanted to ask a question on racing, so I'm just going to bring them up really quick. I have nothing from Kevin. Nothing from.
Hey, what's going on, Rav? How you doing? You doing good?
Wait, was that AJ?
Yeah, what's up?
It was AJ.
What the fuck is your name, little bro?
Oh, because I'm the little bro.
Nickname.
Yeah. Anyways,
you stop being a pick me, man.
Okay.
Please,
Yeah.
thank you, Rabbit.
Right, so I just have 2 questions, right? So one is is racing, right? So I was wondering when drift kits and everything was gonna come out, because I was thinking of like getting a drift kit on my car. So
yeah, we talked about it today. There will be a drift store that'll be opening probably in the next couple weeks.
Okay,
I greenlit it today. So.
Ooh, okay. All right, bet. Thank you.
Yeah, no problem.
All right.
Wow, that was smooth. God damn.
Okay. Who's next? DOC we can look at. I didn't get a ton of feedback, so if people give us a bunch of feedback, we'll have a look at it. Will current boosting contracts be affected by new? Yeah, come in.
Oh, hello.
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 I was just wondering if the existing boosting contracts and the VIN scratches would be affected by these new changes, because some of them still have like ranked races and
cameras,
just like meth bricks and stuff like that.
Yeah,
no, but there's
existing.
We added some items to. Oh, go ahead, Smashing. Actually,
there will be a mechanic basically to make sure that people who have started VIN scratches is gonna be able to progress. There will be an item that is allowing you to take a meth brick 1 grade lower, so you can make any meth brick with that special item.
All right, perfect. Thank you.
Yeah, it was something we talked about. Also, people are probably going to ask about calibration parts and stuff. There will be a trade-in for those as well. for some new
yes.
stuff.
In HQs of the factions, there will be an NPC that will be offering you to trade to another item.
Yeah. We thought about all this stuff, and we thought about player
And
feedback
unaffiliated
a lot, and how people
HQ
would be
is
frustrated.
wide open for people, so they don't need to be a part of any faction. They can just go there and just exchange the items.
Okay, I'm going to invite KJ you up.
Yeah.
KGU?
Yo, what's up, boss?
Yo, not much. What about you?
Question. So a lot of my like solo players and stuff like that I play with, like some of the clowns, or like when I play my other character, our main thing is like trying to like. Yeah, do you hear me? Hello?
Yeah, we hear you.
Oh, I have your stream up. There was a delay. Sorry. Sorry. So like a lot of the solo players that I play with, when we go to like stores and stuff like that, is there any way, or did that topic come up at all with the cops that they're going to react to the smaller crimes and stuff like that? For the not so big gang characters?
Yeah, so we upped response to a lot of more petty crimes because they were turned down a lot.
I can't.
Some of them were even at like 0.1. So we have a ton of stuff done for that. So and we're going to be looking and trying to tailor that over the next couple of days. It's on me and Smashly's list actually, to make it so we have more response to petty crimes in general. So cops have an option.
Okay. For some reason, my Discord, I can't hear nothing on Discord. I can only hear from your stream. So I'm gonna just think that you answered it and then to rewatch.
I did,
stream.
yeah. I did answer.
All right.
All right, buddy.
Hear your stream.
Thank you.
Appreciate
Thank
you, boss man. Thank you.
Okay, we're gonna invite South back. But first, let me just talk. There's more stuff for civs as well. You'll see when I post the changelog here in a bit. PD tows have been fixed, so like courtesy tows give a nice reward. We up the reward for impounds as well for tow drivers. Go good. I think it's like $1,500.
W civ change.
It's really good money for tow right now. So to encourage people to go back and do that. There's also a bunch of other shit we've done for civs and we'll be adding as well. I mentioned a couple of them. I didn't get all of them in this presentation. Go ahead, South.
Okay, sorry. I'm back and I've collected my thoughts a little bit. Sorry, you caught me off guard a little bit.
Okay.
Two things. I wasn't here at the very beginning, but did we talk about car strikes?
No. What do you have to talk about with them?
Okay, so my only concern is that there's not a lot of validity to like the car strikes for criminals in the city. So like for us to find out how many strikes we have on a car, I understand if you want to completely like just wipe a car from existence, like that makes sense, right? If we're shooting a bunch of cops, I think it may be better served if we go the route of like it's impounded for like a full week or maybe 72 hours, or like a system where it's not being completely like just gone and wiped. Because $200,000 for a guy like me, Ravage, I have done one gang job in a month, but I still wake up every day 10 hours a day. And so I feel like, so for me to be punished with losing an entire car from like a gang shootout, because listen, I feel like, you know, you're kind of, and I'm just being honest here. I'm allowed to speak freely, right?
Yes.
Okay, so like, look, if we're not trying to promote the PvP style, then us being able to lose to the cops without losing our cars, I would say would be, you know, we should be able to loot, like, that's my fear, right? In a cop shootout. Oh my God, if I lose this cop shootout, say goodbye to the $250,000 tailgater, you know, and then I'm gonna be driving around assaulting.
Yeah, but,
and now
why
I'm definitely getting slammed.
But why aren't you okay? Let me play devil's advocate.
I never talked
Why
about
aren't you availing from VIN scratches, from boosts, from stealing a car before you get into
local cars,
these shootouts. Why aren't you being a smarter criminal? Like that's what the system is balanced towards, right? Is to incentivize people.
I forgot about local cars.
Their own cars for those. Like I get it. Like it's tough.
Wait, that's a thing?
Yes.
Hold on. If I put a new VIN on the car and they try to go and pound it, it's not going to be.
You can get them from boosting, like full VIN scratches, or you can buy them from people who have VIN scratched them, right? For like probably a much cheaper price. That once the police impound them, it's gone. But these are not.
Yeah, local cars are ass. Boosting is grinding.
Wait, what? Really? That's a real thing? Does everyone know this?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm cooked. Okay. All right. So okay. These guys are lying. There's no way everybody knows about this.
Yeah.
Okay.
Everyone
All
knows
right.
about this. Literally
Okay,
everyone
fine.
knows about this.
Okay, fine. Okay, that's fair then. That's fair. Okay, secondly, is there a way and or an aspect to get housing keys increased? Because once we lost the gang table, right? You used to be able to have 10 sets of keys on the house, and then you had 10 sets of keys on the table. Once we lost the tables, it takes away pretty much 10 keys from the house. Now listen, I don't have a huge cubby, right? Like Kay and these guys, like I don't have this huge situation. All I got is my little Mirror Park house.
Okay, write down Smashney. We'll look at it. That's a fair point, and that's probably increasing the housing problem on the server. So let's look at it, Smashney, how we can fix that.
Already added to our list.
Okay.
Okay, perfect. And then I have one last little rant. I'm just gonna go on a little rant here, and obviously you stop me if it's bad.
This man has my cell phone number. I just want to point that out to everyone here, and he's not told me any of this.
Okay, well, that's because I just like to do it. I like to just do it right here with, you know what I mean? Just be real included. And that's what I appreciate about Prodigy. Shout out. I'm a grown-ass man. I'll glaze somebody if I want to. What I appreciate about Prodigy is that I can just speak freely, and I feel like my voice is heard. Thank you. Listen, I just want to say one thing, and because I feel like I've seen a lot of it in the city. And listen, I wake up 10 hours a day, 6 days a week. I have no fucking life. My girlfriend hates me. Okay. With that being said, I feel like in the city, there's a lot of people that there's no, people need to start understanding that you have a role play duty to respond to some situations. And what I mean by that is that if you start something in the city, you have a duty to reciprocate the consequences and be okay with it. And I feel like there's a lot of people in the city that are just kind of going through the motions, right? And they think that they can just do X, Y, and Z and not suffer the consequences. Listen, I went through the fire in this city many times. Many times. I had CJ Lock pick up my house over a rage bait phone call. I've been through the fire, and I'm okay with that, by the way, because that's just the nature of the game. But I have been through the fire, and I feel like there's a lot of people in the city that do X, Y, and Z, and then just don't even want to suffer any of the consequences from it. And I can't stand that, because I certainly I certainly take the consequences right to the chin, or whatever it may be. But you have a role play duty to do something about it, even if you're going to lose. There's a lot of people here that got to understand, like, we're here to create content, we're here to have fun, and we're here to create role play. And you can't create role play if you're not reciprocating your RP duty. And I just wanted to say that, and I may be completely wrong, Ravage, but I just wanted to throw that out there. That was just my, I hope we understand what I'm saying.
No, I think it's fair. I think the server has devolved a lot to people just be fucking idiots, in terms of like reciprocation of roleplay, or just people just shutting down each other's roleplay. And I think it's been a real big issue on the server in general. So I think it's a valid point. Like it's just been something that
he don't dock though.
To breathe and roleplay and are just getting shit on right constantly without having reciprocal roleplay back. I do think that's a big problem, and it's a big reason that we've had the lull we've had on Prodigy. It's a big part of it.
I agree.
So,
I agree.
Yeah. But yes, I do think there's one valid point, though, is that saying, let's just be friends after you fuck someone over 15 times.
Okay.
Probably also doesn't work.
Okay, well, listen, in all fairness, I'm going to say this out loud so we can all finally just put an end to this. I really, truly, here's the thing. And I'm not, listen, I'm a 34-year-old man, okay? I will respect somebody where they're respected. I just have a lot of respect for CG and K because they took me under their wing early on. And it was very hard for me to navigate that role play in the limelight. It was very difficult for me. And that is just a flat out truth. It was just really hard. I just got a lot of respect for him. So for me to cross somebody in a video game, regardless, I know we're playing a video game, but for me to cross them and
I got you though.
Do it all for the content and do it all for the role play. It was hard for me to like lock into an RP character and be like, fuck you, Mr. K. Fuck you, Rami. Like, it was really hard for me to just say that to somebody. Like, I'm a grown man.
Listen, Seth. I get you. I was only joking with you. But yeah.
Yeah.
Like, I would never walk up to Ravage and be like, fuck you, Ravage. Even though you're Tony Rico and you're all these other, like, it's hard for me to say that to you. Like, it's just hard. I know we have to role play it, and it's supposed to be a movie, but I can't.
Listen, I think that's something that a lot of people deal with across the server. It's a part of an adjustment, I think, of role playing number one and then number two with all the content, viewers, and stuff like that. It can be tough. So I get you.
I mean, Ravage, especially when you and I are golfing in Hawaii from the islands and we're coming out with update, like it's hard,
Okay. We're gonna move.
I wasn't really listening. Yeah. Was he saying he wants to do like a handshook foundation wipe for Bang Bang?
Yeah.
Is that what it was?
BVS.
Oh, okay. Yeah, we can do that.
He's ready to get.
Yeah, we can foundation wipe Bang Bang. That's easy.
Yeah, take all my assets.
Yeah. Props to Ricky for taking the L for the server. Can't just be BVS.
I'm gonna look and see if I can take one person up here, and then we're done, and we're starting the server. The traps can realistically only be taken by the bigger gangs. How can smaller gangs also get these things too? By being opportunistic and making alliances.
Thank you, Ravage. Thank you. Thank you. Oh my gosh, man. Thank you.
Fire department role play.
Bro, this whole like, well, we don't get a chance. It's not fair. Yeah, well, RP and make alliances and do some shit. We've been saying this, chat. Well, it's not fair. We don't get that. Hey, ESB, can we get the trap? We'll pay you 10%. Literally, Ricky just came up and said people don't want consequences, but now all of a sudden they want. It doesn't make any sense.
Hey, yeah, I was just wondering if I was getting raided on update day.
Yes.
Okay.
Now we see if he metagames that. Or if he's getting raided at all. Or maybe it was just a test. Anyway, I think that concludes. Farmers Market has you can
Bro,
employ,
right? Like they want
to
this like
the city to be more.
Yo, it's not fair. Everything has to be equal. Why is all the bigger gangs get it and we don't get it?
Posting that we have all
they
of that.
always do that. And honestly, Prodigy catered to those type of mentalities 1.0.
Get the server started so people can get on with their day. Goodbye, folks, and thank you so much. Hopefully it was good. And
you know what I'm saying?
You enjoyed the third grader PowerPoint.
Prodigy catered to a lot of those people, but there was no RP, bro. Like, why not just like, yo, bro, like I've never seen a gang approach us or even SB in any kind of way to be like, yo, hey, bro, you know, we want to run the trap. Like, you mind us, you know, ESB run the south side. Just fucking call upon ESB. It's not fair for smaller gangs. So it's just like, well, we can't be big. It's just not fair. It's like, brother. Honestly, Ravage handled that perfectly fine. Low key. Low key, this guy handled that really good.